In the middle of his intense military service, Astro's Cha Eun-woo has surprised fans with an unexpected confession. It wasn't about training. It wasn't about his celebrity life. It was about something, or rather someone, who has clearly been on his mind, Moon Jae-young. For the first time since his enlistment, Cha Eun-woo gave a small but heartfelt glimpse into his private feelings, and fans are convinced this is the clearest sign yet of how deeply he misses her. The moment happened during a recent morale event where enlisted soldiers were asked casual, personal questions to lift the mood. One soldier beside him joked, "Who's the first person you want to see when you get leave?" Without much hesitation, Eun-woo's lips curved into a shy smile, and he simply said, "Someone who makes me feel at home." It was a short sentence, but for fans who have followed his close relationship with Moon Jae-young over the years, it was a statement that said everything without saying her name. The air in the room seemed to shift. Fellow soldiers chuckled, some teasing him, but Eun-woo didn't elaborate. Instead, he laughed it off and moved the conversation along. Yet that single sentence has now become a wildfire in fan circles, with online communities dissecting every word, every pause, and every flicker in his expression. It's not the first time the pair's connection has come under the spotlight. Ever since their hit drama together, fans noticed their off-screen closeness, from casual hangouts to secret matching accessories. Even during his enlistment, supporters have speculated that Jae-young has been quietly keeping in touch, perhaps through letters or mutual friends. Now, with Eun-woo openly hinting about someone special, fans believe they finally have the confirmation they've been waiting for. According to an anonymous source who claims to have seen Moon Jae-young recently, she's been more reserved in public, choosing low-key outfits and avoiding the usual red carpet appearances. This isn't her typical style when she's promoting projects, leading some to believe she's intentionally staying out of the spotlight to keep her private visits or personal matters away from the media frenzy. Even more telling, a fan account posted an unverified sighting of Jae-young in a small town near Eun-woo's training camp. While there's no photographic proof, the timing lined up suspiciously well with a short leave Eun-woo was granted for family matters. Could it be that she was there to see him? For their supporters, it's more than just wishful thinking. It's a narrative that fits perfectly with everything they've observed so far. Eun-woo's military journey hasn't been easy. In past updates, it's been mentioned that he's faced grueling physical demands, long training hours, and the emotional weight of being away from his family, friends, and familiar surroundings. Having someone like Moon Jae-young as a constant emotional anchor could be exactly what's keeping him grounded during these months of service. Fans point to subtle clues that both of them have been leaving online. Jae-young's recent social media post featured a sunset photo with the caption, "Same sky, different place." To most people, it's just poetic. But for fans who know Eun-woo has often used sunset imagery in his own past captions, it felt like a hidden message between the two. In response, Eun-woo's official fan café update just a week later featured a drawing of two figures sitting together under an orange sky. Coincidence? Maybe. But to their shippers, it's practically a love letter in code. There's also the matter of Eun-woo's own transformation in the service. Fellow recruits describe him as disciplined, humble, and surprisingly sentimental during quiet moments. They say he keeps a small photo tucked into his personal locker, though no one dares to ask who's in it. When a fellow soldier jokingly referred to him as boyfriend material, Eun-woo reportedly grinned and said, "That's for one person to decide." Again, no names, but the mystery only adds to the speculation. Moon Jae-young, for her part, has been focusing on her work and staying busy with select projects. Still, in interviews, she's made subtle references to missing certain people and waiting for the right moment when asked about her personal life. She has never been one to make careless comments, so these phrases have been stored in fans' minds like puzzle pieces waiting to be connected. In the entertainment industry, where relationships are often carefully guarded, these kinds of hints can mean everything or nothing at all. But for Eun-woo and Jae-young, their history gives those hints a lot more weight. They've shared deep conversations in interviews, exchanged meaningful looks on set, and even been caught in candid behind-the-scenes moments that feel more intimate than just co-stars. As Eun-woo moves further along in his service, his public appearances will remain rare, but fans are already preparing for the possibility of seeing the two together when he finally completes his enlistment. Some are even predicting a joint project or a low-key reunion trip that might confirm their bond once and for all. For now, Eun-woo's quiet confession during that morale event is all fans have, but it's enough to spark 1,000 conversations. His words, "someone who makes me feel at home," continue to echo across social media, fueling both curiosity and hope. Whether they're just close friends or something more, the connection between Cha Eun-woo and Moon Jae-young is one that seems impossible to ignore. And maybe that's exactly how they want it, not confirmed, not denied, but kept safe between them until the time is right. Until then, the world will keep watching, waiting, and reading between the lines of every word, every post, and every smile. For those who have followed Cha Eun-woo's career from the very beginning, his emotional openness is something rare. Known for his polished image and careful words, he has mastered the art of giving enough to please fans without crossing the invisible line of privacy. That's why the subtle admission, this soft hint about missing someone special, stands out so much. It's not just about what he said, but the way he said it. Observers who were present at the morale event described his tone as warm and almost nostalgic, as though the person he was thinking of wasn't just a fleeting crush but someone deeply embedded in his life. Some soldiers even noticed that after answering, he seemed distracted for a moment, his eyes drifting as if picturing a memory. For Moon Jae-young, this moment has also put her in the center of a renewed wave of public interest. In recent weeks, her name has been trending alongside Eun-woo's on fan forums and social media platforms. While she hasn't directly addressed any of the speculation, her subtle actions continue to feed the narrative. Just days after Eun-woo's comments spread online, she was spotted at a quiet art gallery in Seoul, wearing a baseball cap and mask, browsing the paintings alone. The timing, some say, was symbolic, as though she was retreating into a space where emotions could be processed privately, away from the noise. It's worth noting that this isn't the first time the two have navigated a situation like this. Back when they finished filming their drama together, rumors about their closeness were already circulating. At the time, both laughed it off, saying they were good friends, but anyone watching closely could see there was a different kind of chemistry there, a comfort and familiarity that doesn't fade easily. The military context adds another layer of intrigue. South Korea's mandatory service often acts as a kind of pause button on celebrity relationships, forcing couples to communicate in secret and rely on rare, precious moments together. If Jae-young truly is the person Eun-woo is referring to, it means their connection has withstood months of distance, secrecy, and the unpredictable demands of military life. That in itself says something powerful about the depth of their bond. Fans have even begun compiling evidence in the form of side-by-side timelines, tracking Jae-young's movements against Eun-woo's known leave dates. One fan claimed that a bracelet Jae-young wore in a recent behind-the-scenes clip looked identical to one Eun-woo had been seen with before enlistment. Another pointed out that Jae-young's choice of nail polish in a recent ad shoot matched the same muted shade she wore during the press tour for their drama, a color that Eun-woo once called his favorite in a lighthearted interview. Are these connections real or imagined? That depends on who you ask. But for fans invested in the possibility of their romance, these small details are more than coincidences. They're threads in a larger, unspoken love story. Military insiders say that Eun-woo has adapted remarkably well to the disciplined lifestyle, but he's not immune to moments of homesickness. For most, that word home means family. For Eun-woo, it seems to mean a feeling, a person who brings him comfort. His comment about "someone who makes me feel at home" carries a quiet weight, as though the military base walls couldn't contain the memory of that warmth. Meanwhile, Moon Jae-young has continued to focus on her career, but she hasn't taken on any overly demanding projects in the past few months. This has led some to believe she's keeping her schedule flexible in case she can make private trips during Eun-woo's leave periods. In a recent magazine feature, when asked about her current priorities, she replied, "I'm learning to balance work with the people and moments that matter most." For those who know the rumors, it sounded like another carefully chosen hint. One of the most telling details in all of this comes from an unverified but widely discussed fan account. According to the story, during a short leave, Eun-woo was spotted at a quiet coastal café, seated in the corner with a woman wearing a cap and sunglasses. The fan couldn't confirm her identity, but they described her as graceful, with long hair, speaking softly. Naturally, speculation exploded online. Could that have been Moon Jae-young? And if so, what does that say about how much effort they're putting into seeing each other despite the challenges? For now, there is no official confirmation, and there may never be, at least until Eun-woo finishes his service. But sometimes, the most meaningful love stories are the ones that unfold away from the cameras, in letters written late at night, in a photo tucked into a locker, in a shared look across a quiet cafe table. As Eun-woo continues his service, fans will hold on to every little update, every slip of the tongue, every quiet smile. And Moon Jae-young will no doubt continue to move through the public eye with her own careful grace, revealing just enough to keep the story alive. Whether they choose to share their truth one day or let it remain a beautiful mystery, one thing is certain: this connection, whatever its true form, has left a mark on both of them. And maybe when Eun-woo finally steps out in his civilian clothes again, the first person he sees will be the same person who's been in his heart all along, the one who makes him feel at home.